The Prophet ﷺ, they asked him, what do we do if we don't find it in the book and the Sunnah? The Prophet said, Salu salihin, وَجَعَلُهُ shura bainahum. Ask righteous people. People that have, their nafs are purified. Ask those people. Don't ask the faqih. Right? Don't ask the faqih. In other words, this outward scholar that hasn't done anything to improve his own soul. Because they've got all the loopholes. Like they'll justify the most heinous crimes. They justify blowing up babies. Really. They use the hadith and the Quran to justify all their heinous crimes. They do. Because there's nothing there in the inward. There's no rahmah, there's no shafaqah, there's no musharaka wijdaniyah like the Arabs say. Imam Junayd, rahimahullah, said that once Sariya Saqati was his uncle and also his spiritual teacher. He said to him, when you leave my gathering, who do you sit with? And he said, al-Muhasibi, Harith al-Muhasibi. He said, فَقَالَ نعم خذ من علمه وأدبه ودع عنك تشقيقه للكلام ورده على المتكلمين. Take from his knowledge and his adab, but leave his some of the things that he says, his refutations of the theologians and things. In other words, don't get involved in his polemics. And then he said to him, ثم لما وليت سمعت يقول جعلك الله صاحب حديث صوفيا ولا جعلك صوفيا صاحب حديث. May God make you a traditionalist who happens to be a Sufi and not a Sufi who happens to be a traditionalist. It's a very important statement. أشار إلى أن من حصل الحديث والعلم ثم تصوف أفلح. And he meant by this, if you learn outward knowledge and then you learn the inward knowledge, you will have success. But if you learn the inward knowledge and then before you learn the outward knowledge, you're putting yourself in grave danger. خاطر بنفسه. Because it's easy to go astray. Shaitan can play lots of games with you. But he can't play games with an alim who's also an abid. He can't play games with. But the abid who's not an alim, he can play games with them. And there are many hadiths to indicate that. And then he says, فَلِمَا لَمْ تُورِدْ فِي أَقْسَامِ الْعُلُومِ الْكِرَامِ وَالْفَلْسَفَةِ. Why aren't you mentioning dialectical theology and philosophy amongst these things, whether they're blameworthy or praiseworthy? And then he goes on about, and there's a whole section about kalam. And he said much of it is unnecessary. People shouldn't involve themselves. He actually wrote a book, Iljam al-Awam an Ilm al-Kalam, preventing common people to get involved in dialectical theology. But he said it's necessary to fight obfuscations and these things. But he said some of it really doesn't have any relationship between the religion that's sound. But about philosophy, and this is important,